There's still breaking news surrounding the Steven Crowder issue, so I may have a live stream up tonight on my main channel. We'll see what happens, but I thought this story was very pertinent considering Carlos Maza, who has triggered the scorched earth Vox adpocalypse, getting tons of smaller creators purged, has advocated for assault against individuals. And we saw it happen. A man in the UK was hit with a milkshake, shoved around, pushed more than one person. This story from the Daily Mail, shocking new video, shows mob attacking another Trump fan. This time, an elderly man who they say assault and push to the ground in Parliament Square. This is the result of advocacy for physical conflict from people like Carlos Maza. He's mad that Crowder has said mean things. He says saying mean things results in an escalation. Well, saying mean things kind of can, but now we see what actually happens when you directly call for people to commit acts of physical violence. Did Crowder ever do that? He didn't. But we see this story. They say, actually, let's play a bit of the video. Here you can see the old man is being shoved and grabbed by people, and then they throw him to the ground. So for those that are listening, an older man surrounded by protesters thrown to the ground. The story reads, "This is the horrifying moment an elderly fan of the president was assaulted and knocked to the ground during a horrifying scuffle at yesterday's anti-Trump rally in London. A mob in Parliament Square rounded on the man and violently pushed him to the ground while yelling, 'Donald Trump not welcome here.' It happened at the poorly attended demonstration where Jeremy Corbyn gave a firebrand speech railing against President Trump and lecturing the crowd about creating a better world. The video emerged after another Trump supporter was attacked with a milkshake by a mob chanting Nazi scum at the same protest. That was attended by only around 10,000 people. Only around 10,000 people. That's a lot of people. I want to stop here and say, if you haven't already, go to timcast.com/donate with all the news about deplatforming and demonetization. I can seriously use your guys' support. When you donate, you're essentially creating a safety net for me in the event I get censored. But of course, the best thing you can do, like, comment, hopefully that works. I do have another story to talk about, Antifa trying to attack some conservatives, but let's read on. They say, others attending the rally then raise their hands and shout, 'Whoa, whoa, whoa,' to the violent protesters in order to stop them continuing their assault. He is then helped up by members of the crowd, and one can be heard saying, 'Have some respect, he is a senior citizen.' When I was in San Jose in 2016, I watched a crowd of people knock an elderly couple to the ground, take their hats off their heads, and light them on fire while they were sitting there terrified. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. One young man who was actually on the side of the protesters got punched in the mouth. It was chaos, pure chaos. And this is what they encourage people like Carlos Maza over at Vox. They say, another said, 'When you act like that, you act like Donald Trump, so don't.' The man is then lifted off the floor with many asking him if he's all right. The chanting then dies down as many look on horrified." We've got several pictures here showing what happened. The men who had pushed him to the ground then dispersed into the wider crowd. It is thought the man had stolen one of the anti-Trump placards and was holding it tightly to his chest as he appeared to be walking away from the aggressive crowd. Now, I will spare nothing and say, nobody gets any excuses. Do not steal someone's property because you disagree with them. Do not destroy their balloons. Do not steal their signs. You will get arrested. It is a crime. But do not physically assault them. If you want to, so they were grabbing him, it looks like, probably because he did take their sign. So we got a lot of people in this situation. Nobody's innocent. But look, if it comes down to someone taking your sign, I'd recommend, you know what? It's a crime. It's wrong for them to do. Two wrongs don't make a right. Don't knock him to the ground. Don't shove him. Call some authorities. Stop. Get the sign back. Figure it out. They say it comes after another elderly man had a milkshake thrown at him yesterday during the demonstrations while a group of protesters yelled Nazi scum. So we'll play a little bit of this video. Now, interestingly, I'm gonna pause it. This is a video from yesterday. Okay, I guess I can't. But there's a woman screaming in his face, and she actually apologized. So now the man has been hit by a milkshake. He throws it back, but then they begin shoving him. Now, this woman with the blonde hair has actually apologized, and I absolutely will accept the apology, and I think other people should as well. She recognized what she did was wrong, and you have to give people a chance. Otherwise, they will only double down. If we really want to solve these problems, let them apologize for their bad behavior. But this is all, we have another story here from from today, actually, it looks like this morning. Antifa member arrested for trying to imprison Republican students in the classroom. So the reason I'm highlighting these stories is YouTube is taking action against many creators. That's the video many of the videos I've covered today. This context is extremely important because people like Carlos Maza have routinely advocated for violence against conservatives and those who disagree with them. Even independents, moderates, and moderate liberals are being threatened. They spray paint things on the wall like liberals get the bullet too. And this is what you see. You see 2 instances of senior citizens being physically attacked, shoved to the ground, hit with milkshakes. Being hit with a milkshake is exactly what Carlos Maza has advocated for. I wonder why Twitter hasn't banned him for this. But then there was a meeting. This story from My Northwest. An alleged member of a local Antifa group was arrested Tuesday evening for attempting and very badly failing to chain the doors, locking conservative students in a University of Washington classroom. The final meeting of the UW College Republicans, held in Thompson Hall, featured 2 guest speakers from a local YouTube channel, Operation Cold Front. The meeting caught the attention of Emerald City Antifa. On their Facebook page, the group encouraged members to show up to disrupt the event. One person did show up, though it's unclear if he's directly connected with the Facebook page. But he didn't try to simply disrupt the event. He tried to lock the students in the hall with a chain and lock. Here's a quote. "I saw a guy in black approach the door, but there had been no protest outside or anything, so Antifa wasn't necessarily on my radar. He crouched down and immediately slapped his chain around the door. The chaining didn't work. It made a lot of noise, as chains against the doors tend to do, and it immediately alerted the students inside, one already standing guard. We heard the rattling from outside," UWCR President Chevy Swanson told Rants. "We looked to see through the window and see that someone was messing with the door. And it's very clearly a chain being attached. So personally, I ran up to the door and opened it on him. The chain fell to the ground and he ran off, which is good because I much prefer not to be chained in a room with 30 other people indefinitely." I do believe personally they could have broken the door. They had a lot of guys storm through the door. But this is just an example of kind of the extreme behavior these people are taking against moderate conservative types. They are out of their minds. The entire incident was caught on video by Operation Cold Front. The suspect, who covered his face in a black cloth until cops removed it, is seen on camera saying, "Find the law that it is illegal. Find the law that it is illegal to dangle a chain over a door." Then, as seen in the edited footage, he's handcuffed and taken away. Swanson says he recognizes the suspect from other recent UWCR events, though this is the first time he's been disruptive. UW police haven't publicly identified the suspect, but confirmed he's an 18-year-old who attends a special high school class on campus. One of the other attendees of the event caught up to him and called the police, and the police end up coming and arresting him. UW police confirm the suspect was interviewed and released and will be charged through investigation for misdemeanor disorderly conduct. Because the attempt failed so miserably, many of the student attendees thought it was funny after they got over the shock of the failed imprisonment. Okay, he failed. But I do want to stress, if this guy chained them in this room, that is a serious threat to people's safety. And you have to consider there's a reason why most fire codes require 2 points, an entrance and a point of egress. So there needs to be ways people can escape in the event of a fire. Locking someone in a room could be extremely dangerous. And you have to wonder what his intentions were with doing it, because they certainly could have broken the chain unless something more egregious was planned following the chaining. They say the UWCRs have been behind a number of events campus progressives deemed offensive. Last month, they hosted an affirmative action bake sale to point out the unfairness of affirmative action. It was a contentious event that led to a lot of shouting and one arrest. Afterwards, UW President Anna Marie Koss condemned the event and declared war on free speech. Really? Here, Koss has not yet responded to request for comment. So there is a video of it. I'm not super concerned with playing the video, but we can see here in this photo up top, this young man was arrested. I don't want to act like trying to chain a door is the worst possible thing, but it is extremely questionable as to why he would want to do it. But I will absolutely make sure we hammer on this point, excuse me, of these people. We can see photos of the man being shoved to the ground, being grabbed, pushed, etc. And this isn't the first time. There was also an instance around the same event where a woman had to be protected by police because these crowds are getting out of hand. So I ask you, when have you seen the conservatives doing the same thing, back? When have you seen the conservatives surrounding people, beating them, throwing them to the ground? The woman who popped the Trump balloon, these things do happen. She was wrong to do it. But we see time and time again, it's corporate media, corporate journalists, and the left physically assaulting other people. I'm going to leave it there. Stick around. I got one more segment coming up shortly, and I will see you soon.